welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. Today I have a very special guest with me. Today I have Winnie. Say hi, baby. Winnie hasn't been on the channel for a while now, and neither have I actually, since I actually did her birth story. But today's video is going to be a newborn essentials video. Things that I felt like I really could not have done without the first couple months, because Winnie is now 2.5 months old. In 2 weeks she'll be 3 months old. You like looking at yourself in the viewfinder? Things that I felt that were really necessary, and I wanted to wait a couple months before I put a video like this out so that I could really, you know, get a handle on what I liked and what I didn't like, because I tried a lot of different products and things for different reasons. Some I liked, some I didn't. So I'm going to share with you the things that I liked and things that I will be using the next time around. Alright, so let's start. First things first, this is no order whatsoever. The first thing I do not have in here with me, because I tried to get as many of these as I could and brought them in here to show you. But the first thing that I think is essential is to have a bouncer or a swing of some kind, because they don't necessarily use them like, you know, in the first couple weeks or so, because they're too little for things like that. But when they get to be 1 month old or 2 months old, you know, or even older, she's kind of grown out of these things now, unfortunately, but the first 2 months she loved the swing. We have a swing and a bouncer. The swing would put her to sleep almost every time, and the bouncer keeps her entertained as well. The bouncer, you just kind of have to manually bounce with your foot, so you have to be sitting near her, but your hands are free. Having a swing or a bouncer allows you to have some much needed hands-free time, because a lot of the time with a newborn, you're constantly having to hold them for some reason, or, you know. And if you just needed some time to yourself where you can walk around, do something, you need to go to the bathroom, or, you know, something like that, the swings and the bouncers come in handy. It's totally worth the price. I would recommend a swing or a bouncer or both to anyone. It's totally necessary. The next thing I also do not have in here, and that is a bassinet of some sort. For Winnie, used the Fisher Price Rock and Play, because she has acid reflux. She had pretty bad acid reflux. She still has it. So that's why she has to sleep elevated during the night especially. She's kind of growing out of it a little bit more to where she can now take naps on her back, but she's still at night. We're not super comfortable with laying on her back. So the Rock and Play, especially for people who have babies with reflux, is really good. It kind of snuggles them in without having to, you know, put them in a blanket necessarily. I always do anyways, but it just kind of holds them in tighter on the sides so that they can feel, you know, cuddled at night when they're sleeping. And also it rocks and it vibrates, and we just put her in there for her naps. It's really lightweight and convenient to take her around to different people's houses if you wanted to. But like I said, you don't have to use that, but any kind of bassinet that you can have there with you in her room if you're not going to co-sleep, which we didn't. If you want to have your baby with you in your room during the first couple months, there are several benefits for that. Then having a bassinet is definitely essential, if you ask me. Alright, the next one I actually have with me to show you. It's over here. Alright, so now when Winnie was just a couple of weeks old, we discovered that we really loved the Halo sleep sacks. And this is what one looks like. They're kind of a contraption where it zips and then you can swaddle them in it. So this is a way to keep your baby safe from, you know, SIDS. So, or really it's from suffocation, you know, with getting blankets in their face and things. You zip them up in this, so it covers them up without you having to use loose blankets. Because, you know, I don't want to put loose blankets with her because I don't want her to suffocate or anything. But I don't want her to be cold either, so this really answered that for us. And you can also swaddle them if your baby likes to be swaddled. Winnie never really likes to be swaddled that much. She wants to put her hands up, all the way up, all the time. But it provides that feature if you want it. So the sleep sacks are not super expensive, and you only really need 1 or 2 because they come in different sizes, so, you know, 1 for each different stage, and they work really well. So the next essential that I think, okay, so when you're looking at infant pajamas. They have the ones that zip, they have the ones that button, and then they have the nightgown ones. You know, all three are fine, but our personal favorite are the nightgown ones. So this is just one that we just actually bought this yesterday. It's a nightgown one. It's a long sleeve one, and the nightgown means that it just has a cinched ending to where it's just open. So at night, if you're ever having to get up in the middle of the night to change your diaper, you don't have to mess with buttons, you don't have to mess with zippers. Yeah, you just pull that thing right up over her knees, and it's there. So you don't have to bother your baby as much. And the only bad thing is that sometimes if you get a shorter one, it kind of starts to ride up on them, which is just kind of annoying. So I'll trade kind of annoying for convenience in the middle of the night any day. Alright, this next one is one that I didn't have at first, and I cannot believe that no one ever told me about this before. The way I actually found out about this next one is from a video like this. I watched someone's newborn essential video, and I went out and got this. Total game changer for us. So these kind of pacifiers right here, they're the Soothy ones, the kind they give you at the hospital. They're the only kind that she'll like. I've tried several times periodically to try to give her different pacifiers, and she won't take them. So these are her favorite. These are the only ones that she likes. And this is like a Wubbanub. I don't know if this is the exact Wubbanub brand, but it's one just like it if it's not. We have two of these. We have another one that's a giraffe. But essentially they're just like a little stuffed animal attached. It's like sewn in there together. You can't break it apart, to a pacifier, a Soothy pacifier. And we have a lot of just single Soothy pacifiers just on their own, but they kept falling out of her mouth. And it's really annoying in the middle of the night to have to keep popping the pacifier back in her mouth because she can't hold it in there. And that gives me less sleep. So I went and got this, and the reason why this is so much better than just a standalone Soothy pacifier is because the stuffed animal lays on their chest. So if it falls out of their mouth, it doesn't fall down, it just stays right there so they can kind of, you know, find their way back to it. It's such a simple concept, but like it made all the difference for me. Sometimes it still kind of gets wonky or falls off a little bit or whatever, but I find myself having to fix this a lot less than with a standalone Soothy pacifier. So if these are the kind of pacifiers that your baby likes and is going to use, I highly suggest you get a Wubbanub. They're awesome, especially for when you're driving alone with the baby in the car as well, and you can't, you know, obviously it's not safe to turn around there and try to put a pacifier back in the mouth all the time. The only bad thing is if you have a dog, dogs like these. We've had to get thrown away and get another one because the dog got to it, so just be careful of that. Now we have regular gripe water just for daytime, daily use, and we have tried that with her. I don't think it makes a difference, and honestly I don't think the gripe water makes a difference for her gas and things like that at all. The thing that I like about the nighttime gripe water is that it has chamomile in it, so it kind of makes her a little sleepier, and it might help her with her colic and gas and stomach distress, I don't know. But I really do think it kind of helps her fall asleep. And it has all natural ingredients. That's what gripe water is. It's not like a medicine. It doesn't have nutrition or, what do they call it? It doesn't have like medicine facts up here. It says supplement facts because it's a natural supplement. So no harsh chemicals or anything. No dyes, no alcohols, no parabens. Just some natural ingredients including chamomile. So if your baby, and we give that to her every night. We give it to her every night before she goes to bed. We won't always do that, and we'll stop her eventually, but for right now, it's been really, really nice to have that. Next thing I'm going to talk about is food-related items for feeding the baby. Now, right now, I started out just breastfeeding her, but then we found out she had really bad acid reflux. She actually has to take prescribed medicine because her esophagus has gotten burned so bad. She has to take like a pain relieving medicine for that targets her esophagus. So she has really bad acid reflux. So breastfeeding wasn't working out because of just simply because of the positioning, because in a downward position makes everything come back up. So, but I did want to still give her breast milk, so I started exclusively pumping, and then I started going back to work, and it was just kind of hard. hard to keep up with that. So now I still pump, but she does have some formula bottles throughout the day, a couple of them to supplement for what I can't keep up with. So she gets both. So I have things for both. If you are using formula, it's really important to have a bag like this. This is just something that came with the pump that I got, the electric pump. But just a bag that you can put ice packs in to store your breast milk. This is if you're pumping, if you're using a pump at all. If you're just breastfeeding, you don't really need this, but because you have to keep breast milk stored in a cool temperature to keep it fresh. You can pump into this container, or you can have your bottle in here. And we take this when we have a babysitter watcher for date night. Put the bottles in there, it keeps them nice and cool. If you're pumping at work, it's good to put them in here. Just a cheap little thing that can contain cold temperatures and ice packs. Now, if you're doing formula, you really need to get one of these things. This is I don't actually know the actual name for it, but it's just a little container that has 3 compartments for formula. So you just measure out how much you need for your bottle and you put it in. So you can have enough for 3 different bottles in this one. And so then you just twist it to whichever compartment that you want, lift open the lid, and then you just shake it into the bottle to make the bottle with formula. And so I've been using this for when we're trying to make a formula bottle on the go, when it's the time of day that she's going to get one of the formula bottles she gets. So that is definitely important if you're trying to be on the go and you don't want to be contained to your house all day. Alright, another thing that is good for on the go mamas is a wipe holder. And you can get these. This is just one from Huggies. It's made out of like a waterproof kind of material, but you don't throw this away. This is one that you can refill, and that's what I think you should have. And is essential is a refillable wipe container. You can just buy the big packages of wipes, and you can just, whenever you run out of wipes, you can put more in there. And I actually have 2. I have one for here, for like in the living room, and when I'm away from the changing table, and then I have one in the diaper bag, right? One in a diaper bag. Super, super helpful. Another thing I would suggest doing is, if you're going to use a changing pad table and a changing pad, I suggest getting at least 2, if not more, changing pad covers, because they will poop and pee on them. And I've seen people put waterproof things over their, like, you know, patterned changing pad covers. That's stupid to me, because what's the point in even buying the changing pad cover, because you won't be able to see it. So just get, you know, at least 2, if not more, and just rotate them out. When one gets dirty, wash it, and then you can use the other one while that one's in the wash. And that way you can have cute changing pad covers and not have them be all nasty, right? Another thing I suggest having is lots and lots of bibs. Just go to like Walmart and pick up like a ton of really cheap bibs, because she doesn't eat like solid food yet or baby food, but she's in the stage now where she just drools. Like I was not prepared for how much drool they have. And also when she's drinking bottles, if you have a baby that's drinking bottles, they might she kind of does this thing where she spits some out sometimes. It gets messy, so we just really go through a ton of bibs. And so instead of having to change her clothes every 5 seconds because she's either drooled all over down the front of it or spit up on it or something, we just have bibs. So lots and lots of cheap bibs. Another thing that I suggest that you get for your nursery is a giant hamper for dirty clothes. The biggest one you can find. That one, I wish I had an even bigger one. You want one at least the size of your washer or drum. The drum that's in your washer. Get one that's at least that size. Because you'll go through so many clothes in a day. Like, people always tell you that. I don't think you'll understand until you actually have a child, though. But, like, so many clothes. So many clothes. So, a big, big, dirty hamper. Another thing that I suggest having, and this is something I found on Pinterest and I thought was a great idea. This is just like a little container. So a container for clothes that are too small, and you can put it either in your closet where the clothes are, or I actually have mine underneath the changing table because it's right next to the closet, and that's where I change your clothes. So anytime you come across clothing that has become too small, you just put it in there, and then once mine fills up, I'll put it into a box in the garage. That way you don't have to, have weekly or monthly closet clean outs. You just get rid of stuff as you discover that it's too small. So you're, you know, every day you're just little by little cleaning up the clutter in the closet. So that's something I suggest. Another thing that I suggest having for when they're a little bit older is something like this. This is just one of those play mats. We used to use it just for tummy time for her. You know, obviously when she was just like a month or younger, she didn't really play with the toys on it so much. But now once she was like a month old, and now 2 months, now almost 3 months, she really has enjoyed looking up at the little toys on there, and she started to hit them. So I think it's good for their development, and they just also really enjoy it, I think. So a little mat like that, or some kind of laying down toy. Another thing that I highly suggest, is these kind of swaddle blankets that are really, really lightweight and kind of breathable, so you can kind of like almost see through it. Well, at least I can. The camera's not picking it up. But you know, I don't know what material this is. But, you know, these really lightweight swaddle blankets. We use these as regular blankets for her because she was born in the middle of the summer. And so it's always been really, really hot here and humid. So any other blanket is just almost too hot. Even though she can't really regulate her body temperature, it's really hot. Okay? It's really hot. So we have always been covering her with a blanket, but we just use one of these lightweight ones that's not super, super hot. And it works really, really well. Another thing that I suggest is if you're breastfeeding, these are the best nursing pads. I've tried like 5 different brands, and I'm not going to sit here and go through why these are the best, but they're the best because they just hold everything in, and they stay in place in your bra. They don't, you know, overflow and leak, and they don't feel weird or anything, and they're not super expensive. Yeah, they're the best ones. They're the best ones. Oh boy. Another thing is something I did not have at the beginning, and then I had to go get it after I had Winnie because I realized that I needed it. I was trying to be stubborn, and I thought I didn't need it, but I needed it. And that is a boppy nursing pillow. And it doesn't have to be a boppy per se, but any kind of nursing pillow. I actually already had a Snuggle, which is like a maternity pillow for sleeping, but it also can be turned into like a nursing pillow. I thought I was just going to use that. The Snoogle's big, and I did not feel like carrying that thing places, and so I just went out and got a boppy, and I nursed when I was still nursing her. I nursed with this, and it made nursing a billion times easier. It is so crazy how much easier it was to nurse with this. So if you're nursing, a nursing pillow is something, I don't care what you read online, I don't care what people tell you, you need one. And you will be so sad if you don't get one, because you're missing out on the ease you can have with that. And also it's really great for just propping her up. Like I prop her up in it now, and it's just the perfect little size, and she loves it. So it's got multiple uses. It's really good. Another thing that I highly suggest is some kind of noise machine. This one actually projects like a light projection, and it has some songs and some white noise and things. She just recently started sleeping in her crib for nap time and things. And whenever she's kind of getting fussy, and I know she's not hungry or anything, she's just kind of fussy because she's tired and, I don't know, she won't go to sleep. The noise machine always works to help her go to sleep, always. So, if you don't got one of those, you should get one. Now, you can have apps that do white noise, but I didn't want to do that because it runs my battery down, and my phone already has problems with that. So, a noise machine was better for us for that purpose. Alright, and now I just have 3 apps to tell you about real quick that I thought were super helpful. The first one is called Baby Tracker, and it's available on Android and Apple. And I don't know if you can see mine here. There's a picture of Winnie, and it tracks food, diapers, and sleep. And then if you pay a little bit extra, you can see the pattern chart. The green is sleep, and then the orange is food. And so I've been using this not only to help track feedings, because, you know, when you have a baby with acid reflux, you kind of have to pay attention to when the last time they ate was, because you can't overfeed them, because then it will just make it 10 times worse for things to come up. So she has to have a kind of an eating schedule. So it helps with that, but it also helps with sleep patterns. That was why I actually downloaded it, because I was wanting to see her sleep patterns, so that when it came time, and it's almost time, to kind of come up with a sleeping schedule, just for, or sleeping routine and schedule, it was easier to pick one that was one that she kind of, like a baby-led sleeping schedule, if that makes sense. So for the past couple of months, ever since she's been born, and since I use that, I have been just putting in when she's sleeping. And so in a couple of weeks here, I'm going to sit down and look at all my data and look at when she just naturally wants to sleep, and kind of create a schedule based on what she has showed me thus far. So that way it's not me trying to decide something for her. It's kind of like she decided for herself, you know? Yeah? Yeah. And just for the record, there are tons of apps out there like that, and I seriously downloaded like 5 different ones, and I slowly narrowed it down to the one I liked best, and Baby Tracker was the one that I thought was easiest and the best as far as displaying information. Another app that I really like is called Peekaboo, and it's one that helps you store photos. Now, I have tons of photos. You can just store them on your phone. Here's what it looks like. It has her name, and if you go over, at least on the Android phone, you can look at pictures by month, which I think is cool. And the other cool thing I like about this app is that multiple people can post on here, so it's kind of like an online scrapbook. Me, my husband, both of Winnie's grandparents, and some of her uncles and aunt, they're all synced up to this one, so that when they log in on their phones, this is what they'll see. So if they post something, it ends up right here. So everyone's photos of her are in the same place, and you can look at it by age. So it's super organized, and I just love that everyone can contribute to it. Huh? Everyone can contribute. So we can look back on that, and it's... I actually only have 2 apps. The last one is not one that I would necessarily say is essential. It's just kind of fun, so I won't talk about it. Okay, anyways, this video was really long, but I just have a lot of things that I really, really like. And Winnie's been really good. She sat here the whole time and not cried. That's my good baby. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you have not already. Now that she's older, I have a little bit more time to make videos, and we could do vlogs and more fun things, huh? So stick around for that. I will be doing another video here pretty soon. About kind of like new parent essentials, things that I found necessary for Ryan and I, for my husband and I, being new parents, to kind of help us get through the first couple months. So subscribe for that one, and like the video if you want, and comment down below with some of your newborn essentials to kind of help everyone out, because when I watch these videos, I read the comments and people give even more suggestions, so it's just an awesome kind of community to help each other out. So say thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye!